I got the horse right here. The name is Paul.
Hello, racing fans, and welcome back to another edition of Handicappers Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill, and a special edition it is. It's
Big
BC
edition.
Cup Day. Drew Forster, Mike Eds. We're going to go through the BC Cup, 21st running of the BC Cup, created in 1995, and it's been a big success. And it's going to be a great day. 9 races, over 400,000.
Hard to believe it's been 21 already.
21 years. Jerry Olguin and What You Doing Tonight. I remember that one. I forget who won the first
race.
classic, but I know Jerry won What You Doing Tonight for Denny Spence and Cindy Crowd, or no, Janet Friesen. It was Janet Friesen at the time.
That's a very good memory there, Michael.
Yeah, I didn't even look it up.
I was driving the tractor then, so I didn't.
Yeah, you're working on the work, sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think there's 3 big days at Hastings. We have Canada Day, we have BC Day, we have Derby Day. BC Day might have turned into the biggest one we have. We're expecting obviously a great turnout. Of course, the Hastings Racing Club horse Square Dance.
So he's running, so it's going to be a lot of fun, and yeah, it should be a great afternoon of racing. There's lots going on at the track, and of course, if you can't make it to the track, you better get here to the Derby Bar and Grill. Lots going on here at the Derby.
Yep, we'll have Hastings on the big screen. Come here and see Joel. Place your bets.
Place your bets. Yes. Speaking of placing bets, let's try and pick the winner of the opener. It is a non-winners of 2, 4,000, going 6.5 furlongs. I ended up on the 7 horse at the Ritz for trainer Rob Van Overshot and former trainer Clint Wilson, who is the owner. I thought a pretty good run last time, going long. Yeah. Actually, his last couple runs going long.
Against tougher horses last time, Rebus and Occupy.
I know, those are way better horses, and I just think he's going to get a pretty good pace scenario here. I got Typhoon Taylor down the inside. Holy Shroot likes to go. Why is the rum gone? This is the moment flash speed. I just see not a breakneck pace, but I see a congested front end, and I think at the Ritz might be able to capitalize with Keyshawn Balcoban. I put This Is the Moment in for second, who is the likely choice, and off of his runner-up effort last time to DJ Snow, who it was only a 3-horse field, so you got to take that as at face value. And DJ Snow's rider lost his stirrups or irons.
Amadeo Perez gets the
gritty ride of the year.
The handicapping corner thumbs up for the gritty ride of the year. Absolutely.
Yeah. But This Is the Moment around second, but it kind of flattered by the, I don't know. It's going to be low odds. Might want to try and beat it.
Yeah.
That's all. And I put the 1-horse Typhoon Taylor. Form's gone south a little bit, but perhaps down at the 4,000 level. This horse does have the ability to win here, and we'll see if he reproduces some of his earlier efforts and uses his speed from the inside. I went 7, 4, and 1.
Both days I kind of fell asleep at the wheel in the first race. I totally overlooked at the Ritz. I went with This Is the Moment, as you mentioned. DJ Snow was a big dropper last time. It was only a 3-horse field, but he was a big dropper.
Right.
Took a big drop in class. This Is the Moment was unlucky to get beat by him. I put Typhoon Taylor in the second spot, as you mentioned. That was a pretty salty dash. He was in last time against Kiss 'Em Goodbye and Mario's win. Before that, he was in against Mr. Rosberg and Cognac. Drops into a 4-2 for Hall of Fame trainer Harold Barabee. He's got to be a handful in here. And I put Why Is the Rum Gone in the third spot. If you go back a couple races ago, he was knocking on the door at this level, so I put him in there. For owner Dana Barker.
They haven't missed the boat yet. They haven't run the race.
That's right. Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe I might be the one that's missed the boat.
Maybe I'm a genius for leaving out after Ritz. 4, 1, and 3 for me in the first. On to the second. Now we get going. The 3-year-old filly, the BC Dogwood, mile and a 16th for $50,000. I'm going to land. I mean, this one's going to be your favorite and a well-deserved favorite. Quatracat demolished him in her first start this year. Came back and won the next stake. Ran into a very good horse that was claimed out of California, Morning Coffee, last time. The fact that she was chasing Morning Coffee and still hung on for a second, I thought was impressive. Right. Absolutely your horse to beat in here. I got Quatracat on top. Finality's Charmer I put in the second spot. She skipped the last race. She's been freshened up by perennial top trainer here, Craig McPherson. Amadeo Perez rides as Hamill does land on Quatracat. They take the blinkers off her. She ran second at Quatracat earlier. No reason she can't do it again today. And I put the 7 Bridal Beauty in for third. Tim McCann has been running this horse down at Golden Gate. You know, you look at her form, those are sixths, a couple sixths after her maiden win, but those are very tough races down there. Those allowance 40s, you ran into 1 to 5 shots at Jerry Hollendorfer's Russell Bays on them. They're tough. She definitely fits in here. I got 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah, I agree with Quatracat. That's the horse on paper. This is the horse to beat. Runner-up effort in open company last time. Gets in against BC Breds. This is, she's won two stakes already this year. She's been the top 3-year-old filly until a couple
Morning
of newcomers
Coffee,
came in. Morning Coffee and Majestic Presence, but she managed to beat Majestic Presence. But Morning Coffee was well regarded and came in and won the money. But no disgrace in losing to her, and she gets in against BC.
Like I say, the fact that Morning Coffee ran away from her and she fought on, she just didn't pack it in, I thought was a very hearty effort by Quattro Cat.
She ran great. She's the best horse in this race. If
Yeah.
she continues to stay at that form, she should win the money. But the one-horse race, though, I didn't know where to go after that. Sailing for the Sun, I can see running on the board.
That's what
I don't know what horse you're going to get, though.
Yeah.
Like, this horse ran so well first time out.
I was just going to say, that's my long shot pick of the day is Sailing for the Sun. I actually talked to Robbie Anderson the other day, and he just, just can't really figure her out. She's got so much talent, and something always seems to go wrong. Yeah. If she can put it together, she's got the talent to win it.
I mean, she's obviously not running her races in her last two. She's getting beaten 20 lengths. I mean, so there's something going on.
There's more there, yeah.
Something's happening. When she runs her race, I mean, like she showed in her debut, she distanced a decent field of maidens and won in a good time. It looked like a filly headed for stakes company.
Got a 71 buyer for it, yeah.
But, she can work well in the mornings. But, I left her off the ticket. I mean, just
that's what I'm saying. She's kind of my long shot pick of the day would be Sailing for the Sun.
After Quattro Cat, it's all kind of muddled, and where do you go from there if you're going to key Quattro Cat in a triactor or something? But I put Race the Wind in. I know it wasn't the toughest group of maidens, but still she won.
And she's been improving too. She finally kind of woke up. Her last 3 races have been very good.
I think she'll like going long too.
Yeah,
That's the one thing that, and I agree with the 7-horse Bridal Beauty. Tough trips on the grass. She had wide trip last time. She's had brutal trips against, as you mentioned, some tough fields. She's worked well since coming here to Hastings. Tried to get into some prep races. The races didn't fill, so she's going to have to run into BC Cup off a pretty good layoff. But it's an interesting. It looks like there's going to be a lot of speed. I think Quattro Cat will sit in behind. Their Race the Wind and Bridal Beauty will come from off the pace and maybe get into the tries, and that's the way I saw it. I went 5, 1, and 7.
Race the Wind also full sibling to Dance the Wind, and there's another one too in the 2-year-old race, which we'll touch on in a minute.
Yes, I think it's. It's
reason for being, it's in the next race.
Greg Tracy, reason for being. Yeah, we got some BC Cup. The nursery is next. BC Breds here going 6.5 furlongs, 2-year-old colts and geldings. I ended up on the 6-horse here, Fear of the Cat. Sylvia Gregory runner that very unlucky to lose in his debut. Was fanned out 4 wide on the first turn, continued deep on the track. This horse ran a winning race.
Yeah.
Just got beat by Ebony Warrior, who was a Troy Taylor first-time starter that ran well
horse,
and weaved his way through the field and got the win, where this horse had to cover all the ground. And sometimes covering the ground is better, and sometimes weaving your way through the field is a disadvantage when you're inexperienced.
Well, I think Ebony Warrior would be a heavy favorite here, and Fear of the Cat ran a big race against him.
I thought Fear of the Cat ran huge. I think that's your horse to beat. How about the 9-horse Groot, who ran just in behind? They're both coming out of the same race. Groot was green and missed the break, wide on the final turn, was making a good run. I think this horse has got a lot of upside as well. And I put the 5-horse Capital Expense, another Sylvia Gregory runner. Nice easy score, going 3.5 furlongs. Didn't break fast, but still was up in contention. Wasn't like your typical bullet type horse winning it, going 3.5 furlongs. Did it professionally. Sat in behind the rail, went inside and then drew off, and like a horse that wants more ground. And the horse looked good. The horse has worked well. And if you look back on that June, I think it's June 22nd, worked 6.5 furlongs at 121, and his stablemate Fear of the Cat worked in 120 and 3. I think pretty sure they worked together that day, which is why I leaned towards Fear of the Cat. It looks like this one was better in the AM. But I think they're both very talented colts. I went 6, 9, and 5. I left both Craig McPherson runners, BC Charlie and Blue Storm Cloud, off the ticket. Which may be a mistake. They got beat by Philly and Hippie, but they have quality as well. There's some nice little, and I left Greg Tracy out too, who's very good with his 2-year-olds. It's a good little race, but I went 6, 9, 5. Well,
I'll cover those bases. I agree with you. I thought Fear of the Cat, monster race last time, and I think he'll move forward in his second race. He to me is the horse to beat in here. I went to the Greg Tracy horse. Number one reason for being, as we just mentioned, a full sibling to Dance the Wind and Race the Wind. He's got the pedigree. Just a 3.5 race out there under Rico Walcott, ran second, then came back going 5.5 and absolutely destroyed a field, winning by 5 under Scott Williams. Scott Williams is in town to ride today. Good to have Scotty back, a guy who's rode here over the years and done very well.
Ride, Danny.
Yeah. Horse racing royalty.
His grandfather rode here, Ronnie.
Yeah, so good. Always good to have Scott back. Welcome back, Scotty Williams. But a very good maiden breaking score last time. I don't know how tough those horses are that he beat, but he did it impressively in a good time and got a 52 buyer for it. And I put the 4, BC Charlie. Craig McPherson has 2 in here.
He's got the 1 and 4. The owner, Don.
Oh yeah, Don Denard.
He's got the 1 and the 4.
So I'm picking him second and third. But he was a favorite last time. Got beat by, I think, is a very nice filly in Hippie. I think he'll move forward. A very well-bred son of Rosberg out of the good mare, My Special Angel. I went 6, 1, and 4.
Good
in
race.
The third.
Good race. There's some nice little colt.
Yeah, that's a good race. I would go deep in there. Yeah. On to the 4th, fillies and mares. The Pegasus Distaff, 75,000, going a mile and 16th. I landed on the favorite here, beat her to win it. Arabelle's Muse has had a very good year, winning the last 2 stakes. Mike Anderson had a very good year. You got your leading trainer, your leading rider, Richard Hamill. Arabelle's Muse, for me, is absolutely the horse to beat in here. I put the 7, Rather Beautiful. We haven't seen her. She won her first start here sprinting, which isn't really her gig, and everybody's like, wow.
It was an impressive win.
Who's ever going to beat her, right? She came back, kind of ran flat in the Strawberry Morn. Obviously, something went amiss her. That was May 18th. We haven't seen her since then. But now she shows up here. If she's good to go, she's going to be a handful. You know, if she can return to that first race, she's absolutely a handful. She is one that wants to run long, being a daughter of Malibu Moon. Scott Williams rides her for Dino. I got her in the 2nd spot. And I put the 4, Touching Promise, another one I wouldn't be surprised to see win. She got trapped down on the rail last time. She wants to be outside and running. You know, Amadeo Perez will suit her well. Good work back on July 23rd in 59 and 3. She's on her toes. I went 5, 7, and 4.
Yeah, the contention is definitely, I think, on the outside. I went, like, I think the outside 4 horses are all dangerous.
Yeah.
I went Touching Promise on top. I think the weight's just getting a little farther, you know, getting 6 pounds,
6 pounds.
now from Arabella's Muse. This horse was unlucky not to win last time. Mario did say that he kind of got messed up a little bit with Dear Lily and should have won the race. He was apologetic after the race, and of course Mario not in town today, but Amadeo Perez, who's won on Touching Promise, gets the riding assignment. But a little more weight advantage, and it comes into play when you're talking
Against a bunch of
fractions
nice
inches.
horses,
You know, there's not much between a lot of them. So I'll go Touching Promise to defeat Arabella's Muse, who's done nothing wrong this year. The horse has run great races all season long. You know, she does as much as she needs to do, and she continues to win. And I put the 6 horse Locket in the 3rd spot.
Yep,
another one
I
that's
can see that.
dangerous. I like her. She's really, if this race is a mile and an 8, she'd be really tough. But I think she might be tough anyway if the fractions get decent, because you got Dossalina in here. It's going to show speed.
Yeah.
And gonna make things a little difficult maybe for Arabella's Muse.
Locket will be running down the lane. That's for sure.
She will.
Yeah.
Rather Beautiful. I left her off the ticket. She's good enough to beat this field by 5 lengths. I know that, but I'm not crazy about how she's coming in the race with a half-mile work in 48 and then a 104 breezing. Obviously, they've had little issues with her.
Yeah.
Is she at her best? Likely not. This day.
There's question
likely
marks.
not.
Yeah, there's question marks.
So it's. Do you want to take 2 to 1 on a horse that, that's what she could be in here, 2 to 1 or something. You want to take 2 to 1 on a horse that, I know Dino would probably like a little more time with her coming into this race. But I left her off, but I respect her. Believe me, I respect Rather Beautiful.
Yeah.
I respect Dossalina.
I was just going to say, too, touch on Dossalina. I think she's coming into this race well for Rosie Anderson. Unlucky to lose last time. Jake admitted that he kind of made a mistake there, taking her back off the pace. We probably should have went for it, because she can be very tough on the lead. And Pedro's going to go. He doesn't have a whole lot of speed on his inside. He's going to get the lead. Arabella's Muse is going to be on her side. And Dossalina's a street fighter kind of filly.
No,
she'll fight on. She could run a
game.
big one.
Amber Moon's another one that it might get overlooked at the Mutuals. It's a good backup horse for Barb Heads and R.J. Bennett. This horse has had a couple of tough trips in her last few. And she does like the dirt. I mean, she's run a lot of her best races when they do leave Golden Gate and run on regular
Pleasanton,
dirt.
where she broke her maiden by 3.
And she worked great here. She worked in a minute the other day, and she might get a favorable pace scenario as well. So a good rendition of the Pegasus Distaff that is restricted to BC bred or owned. That's why there's a horse like Rather Beautiful.
Yeah, they did open it up as well as the Classic. We'll touch on later.
But I went 4, 5, and 6 in a very good Distaff. On to the 5th race. This is the debutante for 2-year-old fillies, going 6.5 furlongs. Even got one waiting to get in here. Got a full gate load. The 12 Snuggles.
Snuggles.
Waiting
I was going
to sneak in.
Touch on Snuggles. If she does draw in, that's an interesting horse, because Daymaker was a very good mare for Swift Thoroughbreds and Dino, and she's by Rosberg. So interesting one if she does draw in Snuggles.
I like their other horse, though. I think Hippie, I mean, how can you not like her? She beat the boys last time, won off by almost 5 lengths, chased the fast fractions. Was comfortable in the opening quarter at 23. Then they went 22-4 the second quarter, and she put. It's the odds are good's brother, but I forget his name. But
Good as it gets.
Good as it gets, yeah. And this horse ran a big race to draw away and win. This horse had lots left. Hippie for me to defeat the 5. Tactics, who looked great in her debut. Once again, defeating the boys. It was 3.5 furlongs, but this horse was hitting the line like a horse that an extra, 2.5 furlongs, 3 furlongs wouldn't hurt him. She's worked in a minute. So she's definitely there. She's a full sister to stakes winner Cedarburg.
Cedarburg. I was trying to remember the name.
Yeah,
Cedarburg.
And the 6, See You at Eau Claire for Greg Tracy. I thought a game run, another one that ran against the boys, especially if Fear of the Cat wins, because it's coming out of the Ebony Warrior Fear of the Cat race.
He just got beat ahead by Fear of the Cat, yeah.
Her stock, so and Richard Hamill leading rider aboard. So I thought those are your 3 horses. I went 7, 5, and 6, but there's some other talent in here as well. But I think those are the top 3 that you really want to zero in on. I
think so too. In fact, I had a tough time choosing between Tactics and Hippie. They both ran the same weekend. Tactics was in the 3.5 race. Hippie was in the 6 furlong race. That's why I went to Hippie, because it was a 2-turn race, and I think that will serve her well coming into this. Tactics actually got a bigger buyer, got a 65 buyer. Very nice, impressive debut for her. I got Hippie on top of Tactics, and Hippie came back just one that looks like she has a ton of talent, and See You at Eau Claire in 3rd. I got the same horses in the same order, but you could jumble those around. I really think it's Tactics or Hippie. I think they're both exceptionally talented.
If you do a little bit of math, which I'm reasonably good at, like the half and 45 and 4, 3.5 furlongs that same day would be about 39 and 2/5 or 3/5 or something, which was very close to Tactics.
She went 39 and 1, so it's
so it's really close. And this horse still, managed to go another 3 furlongs, which was impressive. But those are your 2 horses. And
See You at Eau Claire definitely figures, but I had a tough time deciding between Tactics and Hippie.
They're all good. It doesn't matter who come out of the race the best too.
Yeah.
Like the 2-year-olds, they don't always come out. You get a little shin. You get sometimes it's more taxing on certain fillies, and then they may not run that same race that we saw a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, 2-year-olds, you can get shinny, you can get a little bit of snots or something.
Exhausted. It's exhausting on some. They don't always run back the same race.
But a very tough race to pick. But I like Tactics and Hippie. I went 7, 5, and 6 in the debutante. On the 6th. The
longest race of the day.
Longest race of the day, 1 3/8. This is the BC Cup endurance race, going 1 3/8 for older boys. I landed on the 2 Gamby. I thought a very good run last time. He only ran last week.
Yep.
That doesn't really overly concern me, as Mel Snow does a very good job with his horses. He wouldn't be running back in the week unless he bounced back strong. The fact that he ran 2nd in that sprint race last week, I thought was super impressive. Made a big run at the end. He, for me, is the horse to beat in here. I put the 3, I'm on the outside, the 8. That should be an 8, not a 3. The 8 horse, Peyton's Best, in the 2nd spot. Dropped down to the 4 and on 2 level. I think he's coming in this race with a lot of confidence. Pedro Alvarado does go to Gamby, but he gets Antonio Reyes, more than capable rider, in the saddle for Harold Barabee. And just a horse that's going the right way. He's probably going to be part of the pace scenario. If he gets away on the lead, he can get Brave. I got Peyton's Best in the 2nd spot. And Uncle Willard, who strung together 2 very good races. A 2-back race, he got a 71 buyer, then kind of threw a clunker in that first starter race, but I'm going to give him another shot. I went 2, 8, and 1.
Yeah, I agree with Gamby. I think you're bang on. As long as the 8 days doesn't, serve him injustice, then Gamby's going to be tough to beat. He's the logical 1 3/8 horse. He fits. He's on paper, he's the best horse in here. Yeah. Uncle Willard is the only one that can beat him. Uncle Willard beat him by 7 lengths 2 starts back.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure why Uncle Willard gets 5 pounds from him, but Uncle Willard is off of. It's tough to run. Okay, a sprint. Go along. Now you're okay. Now you're moving. Then you came back to a sprint, and it was just because of the starter series, the Champions Series, just to get some points. So you're not, because they do give some money away for the leading point earner in the Champions Series. Otherwise, this horse never would have been in that race. Yeah. And I think he would have been in a long race and could have progressed. I think he'll enjoy getting back out to a distance of ground. Still a tough thing for him to go 1:16, 6.5, 1 3/8.
Now back to 1 3/8.
But I think he's good enough. I put him in for 2nd, and I put I'm Big Trouble, who doesn't seem to run bad races ever. He's a cool horse. I think the 1 3/8 will suit him as well. I see a pretty good pace on in here with Peyton's Best, Ambidextrous Duke. There should be something going on early. I went 2, 1, and 5, but I think Gamby, you're right, is definitely the horse in here. In race number 7, the Retta Cup Classic, the big one of the day. Got a field of 10 going 9 furlongs. Big 1.8 test here. definitely the best horse on paper is the 10 horse, or a couple of them are the best. The 10, Mr. Bowling, and the 8, Modern. But Mr. Bowling has been, dealt a tough blow. He has the 10 hole. He now has 122 pounds, an extra 1/16 of a mile, and everything matters. And I just think that might be enough, maybe, to look somewhere else. And I did with the 6-horse Mysterious Soul. I'm going to put him on top, a good runner-up effort to Square Dancer, the Hastings Racing Club horse. But Mysterious Soul, for my money, ran miles the best race. He was the one that did all the fighting on the head end, fought with Title Contender, and I think it was Distillery. There was 3 of them out there setting crazy fractions, while Square Dancer was just sitting the trip in behind and popped out 4 wide and looped them, which benefited from a very good trip and may benefit from another good trip. But Mysterious Soul, for my money, off the about the 9-month layoff, ran a huge race. And if that race didn't exhaust him too much, I think he's going to be really tough. He's shown last year that he's as good as a lot of these horses. He was second on the BC Premiers behind Alert Bay. He was second behind Mr. Bowling in the Randall Plate. After battling on the pace, he can go this far. He's a cool horse that might get overlooked at the mutuals, and it might be a good day for him to win it, as Mr. Bowling, as I mentioned, who's definitely has the best resume, but it does have to pack 122 pounds.
Coming in off 2 straight wins,
Mario's not here. No disrespect to David Lopez, but I mean, Mario gets a lot of run out of this horse. And if he's a length worse today, then it really opens the race up. And I put Modern for 3rd. Always respect, the speed of this horse, and mile and 1/8 might be getting a little far for him, but we'll see how he does. But he got beat last time, but still, if he's left
got
alone,
a pretty good form this year.
He's a cool horse. I've left a lot of nice horses out, but I went 6, 10, and 8.
I went to the 1 Square Dancer. I thought a big effort last time. He came in here off a 3rd place finish for a 25 at Emerald, and as you mentioned, he did benefit. There was a fast pace in front of him, but it was a pretty impressive move, and he was way wide and just ran on under Richard Hamill. Obviously, Richard Hamill does go to Modern, but no problem getting Scott Williams in the tack. I don't think you lose a lot there. Scott Williams is a top rider, and there should be enough pace in here to run at, and obviously would love to see this horse win again for the Hastings Racing Club, as it was quite a celebration last time.
No, we wouldn't. Maybe you do, but I don't want to see him win.
I would like to see him win. I put Mr. Bowling in 2nd spot. The reasons you mentioned. He's kind of your top older horse here at Hastings right now. And Modern in the 3rd spot, just off his form this year. I did leave Mysterious Soul out. Actually, I watched that race with Barb last time, and it was a prize fighter race. He put everybody else away. Square Dancer went smoking past him, and he fought on.
Square Dancer got his gift last time.
And came on fighting onto him again. I went 1, 10, and 8. In the 7th. On to the 8th, the Stellar J for 3-year-old boys. Another very good race here. I went to the 6 Adichia. 2 very good efforts back-to-back for Orna James Redicop. 277 buyers. On the lead both times. I don't think he necessarily needs the lead. Pedro's going to have options as he is in the 6 hole. There is some speed to his inside. But if nobody goes, he's going to be on the lead. He's going to be tough to get by. He should get the distance, being out a remarkable miss. I just think a lot of things to like. Came back and worked July 24th and 58-1. This guy obviously has a lot of talent. I got a Deech on top. He's a best bet kind of horse for me today. I think he's going to be very tough. I went to the 2 Creus, who absolutely fell apart last time. I could see him maybe getting beat by Bluegrass Angus, but then he should have run 2nd or 3rd. The fact that he just absolutely fell apart and ran dead last, something was off there. He'd come back working.
He's a better horse than that.
A much better horse than that. Came back working very well. July 18th and 59-3. Leading rider Richard Hamill takes over as Pedro does go to Adichia. But I think Creus is going to come back and run a very good horse. There's a lot more there. I liked him a lot going into the last race. I'm not going to totally abandon him. I got Creus in the 2nd spot. And the 3rd spot I went our good friend Ken Johnson's Claim, Brother Duster. Claimed him for 16, came back, ran a huge race in the Chris Loseth, running 2nd behind Bluegrass Angus. Would love to see him run a big one for our good friend Ken Johnson. I went 6, 2, and 7 in the Stellar J.
Yeah, I agree that Adichia is the horse to beat. I mean, it's just a matter of what kind of price you want to take on Adichia. And as a handicapper, you have to look at the toe board. And if you see 8-5 on a horse that's never run long, and is going to have to run in 46 and 111 and keep going, something that he hasn't proven he can do, then you must, assess whether you wish to go that route. If he's 3-1 or something, then you maybe want to gallop in on Adichia. But definitely the horse to beat. But I've gone to the 9 Cats on Fire. two good runner-up efforts against. One was against Aditya,
Yep.
not at his best distance, because Cats on Fire is a road horse.
He got left that day, too.
Yeah, and didn't get the best of trips. Last time got shuffled back. This horse did not run its race, got in trouble on the final bend, was better than the sixth place showing. And there looks to be a bit of speed in here. I wanted an off-the-pace horse, didn't really have a lot of options to go to. And I think Cats on Fire might be good enough if he gets back to those California races. And like the first two races that he ran at Hastings, if he can run those races, or repeat them, then he's going to be very tough to beat, I think. Aditya I put in the second spot, and Creus I agree. That was not the true Creus. This horse will run a lot better. He's a nice colt. They're both from good families, Creus and Aditya, that are bred to run on, but they do possess an amazing amount of speed. But they certainly bred to run on. We'll see if that's the case. Sedine's another one that I don't mind.
I was going to say, if you're looking for a closer, Sedine I could see.
He closed up nicely on the inside, and Amadeo got a good learning experience riding him. And I think he'll be a little closer to the pace this time. But this horse got a little far out of it, and just, he doesn't have to possess a big move, so he's got to be close to the pace. So I give him another. So that was my kind of stranger that might do better. And the horse has worked well since the race too. So give Sedine another look as well. Tough race though. This is a tough category. There's no real standout in this race. I went 9, 6, and 2 in the Stellar's J. On to the 9th and final. Fillies and Mares, 16,000 non-winners. A 2 non-3 BC breds going 6.5 furlongs. Ended up on the 4-horse Fire Beauty as she returns to her winning level. Won comfortably 2 starts back against a similar field, beating SL Express and Catalia. Those are the fillies she has to beat again. Yep. I got to go to her to win it. I put SL Express in for second. Good run against the boys last time going long, but she does return to a sprint. Not her best distance, but still she was second behind Fire Beauty. And I put the 7-horse Xenia in for third. She didn't get her picture taken last time, but she still got the money. She has an off-the-pace style that might reward her with a, at least on-the-board performance, and I'll put her in the mix. But I do like Fire Beauty's your horse to beat. I left Blended out, but Blended could get in the mix. I just don't like the draw. Drawn inside, Pedro might have to go, and this horse could get caught up in some, what I think could be a pretty fast pace. I went 4, 5, and 7 to close out BC Cup 21.
I'm very similar. I went with Fire Beauty on top. I almost picked SL Express. Yeah. As you mentioned, it was a long race, but it was a hardy race he ran last time against the boys, just getting nipped at the wire by Green Dude. But I did put Fire Beauty on top, as you mentioned. Went up and faced, Deer Lily and Hidden Harbor. Was a good third behind them.
That's a dirty field.
That's a pretty tough race.
And Deer Lily.
And she was clearly, the third best. She wasn't as good as Hidden Harbor, and she wasn't as good as Deer Lily, but she was the third best. This is a softer spot. I got Fire Beauty on top. SL Express, I just mentioned. Huge effort last time. 2 big efforts in a row. Got a 73 buyer last time. Definitely one. I would be taking those 2 in my late pick 4s. I would be taking.
That's all you need, probably, is 2.
I would be taking those 2. And I put Blended in the third spot. Took her a while to break her maiden. And then she comes out of that Deer Lily Hidden Harbor race. Another very tough race, especially right after you break your maiden. You run against Hidden Harbor and Deer Lily. That's a salty dash to go into. Drops into a very logical spot here in the 16 non-2. 4, 5, and 3 for me. The nightcap on BC Cup Day. That'll do it for our analysis. Up next on screen, we picks Mike.
Here we go, in race number 1, we got a whole 9 races. It's nice to see all those bingo balls. Okay, went 7, 4, and 1 at the Ritz. We're hoping to open the Monday afternoon program with 7, 4, 1 for me in the race number 1. Race number 2, the 5, Quattro Cat, likely a short-priced winner. I went 5, 1, and 7. And race number 3, the 6, Fear the Cat. I'm going to go 6, 9, and 5. Race number 4, the 4, Touching Promise over the 5, Arabelle's Muse, and the 6, Locket. But that distaff's going to be a really good race. That's a tough one. And the 5th race, I went to the 7, Hippie over the 5, Tactics, and the 6, See You at Eau Claire. Race number 6, I went to the 2, Ganby, one of the better bets of the day, I think. I think it's 2 and 1 or 1, 2. 2, 1, and 5 in the marathon. Race number 7, I went to the 6, Mysterious Soul, maybe to upset the 10, Mr. Bowling, in the 8, Modern. And then 8th race, went to the 9, Cats on Fire over the 6, Aditya, and the 2, Creus. And in the 9th and final, likely favorite and likely winner, the 4, Fire Beauty. 4, 5, and 7 for me on the Drew's picks.
And there we go. In the first, I went to the 4, This Is the Moment over the 1 and the 3. In the second 3-year-old filly race, I went to the 5, Quattro Cat over the 6, Finality's Charmer, and the 7, Bridal Beauty. In the third, the 2-year-old boys, I went to the 6, Fear the Cat over the 1, Reason for Being, and the 4, BC Charlie. In the 4th, the distaff, I went to the 5, Arabella's Muse over the 7, Rather Beautiful, and the 4, Touching Promise. In the 5th, the 2-year-old girls, I went to the 7, Hippie over the 5, Tactics, and the 6, See You at Eau Claire. In the 6th, the endurance race, I went to the 2, Gamby over the 8 and the 1. In the 7th, the Reddy Cup Classic, I went to the 1, the People's Horse Square Dancer, over the 10, Mr. Bowling, and the 8, Modern. In the 8th, the 3-year-old race, I went to the 6, Adichie, over the 2, Creus, and the 7, Brother Duster. And in the nightcap, the 9th, I went to the 4, Fire Beauty, over the 5, and the 3.
All right, thank you everyone for tuning in to Handicappers Corner here at the Derby Bar and Grill. A quick reminder that our schedule does change. We go Friday, August the 7th, and then that's Friday night.
Friday nights.
We start Friday nights throughout the month of August, and our next weekend will be Friday, August 7th, and Sunday, August the 9th. So Friday, Sunday will be our racing next week. Once again, no Saturday racing, but that'll be our next. But once again, 12:50 first post too for this BC Cup day that we just did. Earlier draw.
And the post time on the Fridays is
7
o'clock.
Better to say 7. It might be 7:15, but it's better to get them out early.
Yeah.
But 7 o'clock. It's definitely 7 o'clock or 7:15 for the.
If you're there at 7, you won't miss it.
No, you won't miss a thing. On behalf of Drew, thanks to everyone for tuning in. Hopefully enjoy BC Cup 21.
Yeah.
It should be a great afternoon. Once again, thanks everyone for joining us here at the Derby Bar and Grill.